Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. So today we're going to continue with our learning journey, sales and distribution, configured billing process, exercise 4, create billing documents in complaint processing. From the last exercise, we have already created a new billing type and check some configuration for the billing type. What can we do? It should probably be the assignment of the number range and which billing type are we assigning to which sales order type, and also the assignment in the item category if this item category will be delivery related or order related billing. Those are the settings that we have gone through in the last exercise. This time we are going to create billing documents in the complaint process, which probably when the customer they order something, we deliver it to them and then create an invoice. After some inspection on their time on their side, or probably they are not satisfied with the product, they probably will create a complaint that they want to give back um, the stuff that we have delivered, and we need to create a credit memo for that. So for anyone who's new, my name is Anh. I'm a junior SAP consultant. I'm learning myself different logistic modules inside SAP S for HANA, private cloud, and want to share with you guys my learning journey. Hope that you might find something helpful for your projects or day-to-day operations. So without further saying, let's get into it. So our customer files a complaint about the price of the first item being too high in the order invoice with the customer reference A4, and we failed to consider a special agreement made with this customer. Therefore, we create that the complaint is valid and the credit memo amount should be calculated automatically. And for this reason, we must know how to carry the invoice creation process as a form of complaint processing. All right. This time we need to log into the system and determine the invoice number using the document flow of the order with customer reference A4. Create an invoice creation request with reference to this invoice, how many items were created as a result and why. Reduce the price of the first debit memo item by 100 euro per piece. Delete the item that has not been changed and enter the order reason goodwill invoice correction. Okay. Create a credit memo for the invoice correction request. Release the invoice correction request for billing and note the invoice correction request number. Finally, review the status of your invoice correction request. What is the overall status, and what is the feature in copying control for invoice correction requests that allows both a debit and credit memo item to appear in the document. Check the customizing in the backend system. Alright, I'm still worried that the customer reference will not be prepared as the last exercise where we have we've been struggled to find the order with this customer reference. But nevertheless, let's go into the system. I hope this time we have something. Otherwise, we probably need to configure it ourselves. So let's see. Alright, let me go inside and log into the system. And we probably search for an order with the customer reference 07 S 4615 A04. No, we don't find anything for that, so which is really bad. Yes, we don't find anything for that. I mean, if you follow the last couple of exercises, we normally go to the debug table and we search for reference. And here I will filter for as for 615. And so far, I think only this sale order have been created by me, and also from other training users. So not sure if we can make this today in this exercises. Yeah, the hard thing about it, they probably have already some invoice with multiple positions, which I don't have for now. Let's go through a little bit of the exercise and solution. So they find a sales order and they check the document flow and select the F2 invoice. And from that, they will create an invoice request with reference to this invoice in the complaint process and choose the order type RK. Okay. The invoice correction request contains 6 items. Credit memo and debit memo are created in the invoice correction request for each item or 3 items in the reference billing document. Interesting. Reduced the price of the first debit memo item by 100 euro per piece. Select the debit memo item or the first item, choose conditioned, change the price by lower it, return. Okay. I'm not sure the reason why we create debit memo and credit memo at the same time, but yes, it seems like we need to choose complaint processing, start the app manage credit memo request, and choose the create memo request, and choose copy. Wow. Delete the items that have not been changed and enter the order reason or invoice correction. All right. Yes. I think I know what to do in this exercise. It's only the only issue is that we don't have any transactional data which has been created for this. So probably I would just look for any F2 documents created in this system. We will probably have a look into what we can use. If they are going to have 3 items, okay, so maybe let me write some note for you. So our goal is now to find an invoice with 3 item positions. Why? Because if you check the solution, after we create a credit request, it contains 6 different items. I believe that once you create an items on an invoice correction request, we have always 2 positions. The first position is the original one, and the second one is the one we want to correct. So maybe let's have a look first into the last invoice that we had created in the last exercise, which is this invoice, where we created from the sales order, etc., to delivery, good issue, and then invoice. So you can see here in this invoice, I also have an ZF07 billing type. Net value is 7,000 euros. And if I'm now going to create a credit memo request from this, I will go to logistic, sales and distribution, billing, maybe sales, quotation, back orders. Yes, I will probably need to create an invoice correction on credit memo request. Let's say, which is RK, right? Invoice correction request. And I will create it with reference. And this is my billing document number. Okay, this is bad because I can't, I don't have any copying control from this billing document ZF07 to RK. Then I will force myself to look for an F2 billing invoice. Anything could work. And we will go to have a look into this billing document. Checking the document flow, we have a return delivery and credit for return already created. So yes, this is not good. Let me choose a random one, hopefully without any return or credit memo request. Okay, this is a good one. So what I'm going to do with it is I'm going to create a correct invoice correction request, and I choose item select. I will have here open quantity, which is 2 bill quantity. I will just create with reference like 1. Let's see what happens. As you can see here, I have 2 different positions. The first one I cannot edit anything, but for the second one I can change the target quantity to something else. So what do I do with that? If I'm going to save this, okay, I'm going to edit order reason and pricing. Order reason, price different, price too high. Yes. And pricing is the second position, mandatory. Okay, I think this is Mehrwertsteuer. I'm not sure. I don't want to pay any tax, so. Alright. Seems like, I don't know, but in the first item position, we don't have this, right? Yeah, probably this is they have a new pricing procedure created for this, so maybe let's look into some new invoices created recently. I'm not sure by whom, but I will choose the one from the admin. Let's see what he got first to check in the document flow. So I have 5 different items. Alright, looks good. I have 5 different items, each with invoice quantity 20. So I will choose this as the one, because if I look into the condition, I probably have some output tax of 10%. So this is a new one with the new pricing procedure. I will create my credit memo based on that. So let's go back once to OK, create with reference, and this time choosing the billing document that we needed. Open quantities all 20, we will copy it. And this time, because we have 5 different positions which are invoiced to the customer, we have 10 item positions populated in the invoice correction request. So if I go to the first item, and I can change the price manually myself. And if I save this, I will need to edit something, which is the order reason. The price was too high, and if I go back, I don't want it to cost 599 euros. I want it to cost only 499, maybe 100 euros less than what happens. Let's see what is the net value before if I don't change the price. Okay, before that we don't have any net value. But if we are changing the price, then we will probably have an invoice correction request which costs 2000 euros. Why? Because we have a price difference of 100 euro per piece, and multiplied by 20 pieces, we have 2000 euros net value of the invoice price correction. Let me maybe save this. So this is the invoice correction request that we have created. Let's see if I go to the sales order, what we have here. And from this, if I'm going to I probably need to delete the blocking from the billing and create the billing myself. What should I have here? Okay, maybe let me first interesting. Yeah. I thought I need to delete all the items which I don't use, but seems like I haven't. Okay. Well. I think the exercise is pretty straightforward, but I make it somehow pretty complicated. My bad for that. Okay, then we can also probably do this. This is also another invoice that we can make use of, the 17. Exactly the same thing. Coming probably also from the same order R. Okay, then with this combination, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to create again a different one for this choose select all, and from the first one I'm going to change the price to 499, click enter, and then I will delete unchanged item and choose yes. So as you can see, I have now only two item positions. The first one is the 20 pieces with this net value, and this one is the second position which we have changed. So I'm going to save this and edit the order reason. Hey, your price is too high. I'm going to create an order reason with goodwill invoice correction. And with that, we are going to save this sales order. We're going to display this invoice correction order. I will After checking with the financial, I have checking the credit memo and I see that it's fine. This is correct. The price we charge the customer is too high. I want to release the billing block, and based on that, I'm going to create a billing. Yes. So this time I'm going to have a credit memo. Billing type is G2. Net value of 2,000 euros because I have reduced 100 euros per piece for 20 pieces. So it could mean that in total I have a net value of credit memo of 2,000 euros. Click on save. So this is the document that I have now newly created. Let's go into it. Go to the document flow. I go to the items. As you can see, I have a standard order. I have a delivery, invoice, and invoice correction. And based on this invoice correction, I have two different line items. The first one is probably the one copy from the invoice, and the second one, which is what we are going to correct. Yeah, it costs should cost only 100 less. So yes, then we have a credit memo with the total value of 2,000 euros. So we will pay back the customer 2,000 euros net values. So this is what the thing that we have done. Coming back to the exercises, they have that in the solution. They have found a correction request with 6 items. A credit and debit memo are created in the invoice correction request for each of 3 items in the reference billing document. Yes. They change the price of the first item to lower by 100 euro per piece. Return to the value. The current value to be credited after the change is 1,000 euro. Should mean they have 10 pieces for the first item. So yes, this is probably what I'm going to do. When are we having credit memo and when do we have debit memo? This is something I also wanted to know. Maybe coming back to the initial one, to find invoice with 3 item position. I mean, why do we need this? We need this because we need to find the invoice that the chaining system needs. So maybe I can show you that as well. So I want to check in the system which invoice had 3 item positioned. I will go to SE16H. I will go to the table VBRP. So okay, it's getting lagging a little bit, but we are fine. Okay, VBRP, and I will unselect everything. And one thing I need is the billing document and items, and I group it with billing document. And let's see what we have here. So this is a list of all the billing documents. Group it by the billing document and count the item positioned. And for this I will look into the one with the entry 3. I will find 3. So this is the billing document that have 3 item position. I hope that we have the first item positioned with 10 pieces, then we find the one. No, we don't find it. So how can we do it now? Maybe come back to this, and I will filter based on the item. Okay, how I can set filter number of entries 3. I have only 2 invoices with this 3. Then I hope this second billing document could have 10 pieces. No, they don't have 10 pieces, unfortunately. Then never mind, we don't need to find the original invoice of the exercise. But nevertheless, I think I have shown you how to create an invoice correction order, and we can create a credit memo for that. Coming back to that questions, how can we create a debit memo, for example? Let's check this invoice then. Or no, I need something which is created recently. So maybe let me go back to VBRK and we search for something that have been created from this year. And I'm checking only the F2 billing type. Let's see what we got here. I will probably just take one. Oh no, the billing date. Let's sort it out. I just check some random invoice. Hopefully that we don't have any credit memo for that, correct? Then I want to do it like this. I will create a new invoice correction request, and okay, this time I will, hey, why don't I have any okay, they have net value of €0. Okay, this is a bad example. Then probably choose this one. Hopefully we have a better transaction data which we can use. Yes, 1,004 euros. This is from another chaining mate. Sorry, I'm going to check yours. I hope that's fine for you and you don't question it. Let's see if you know what I'm doing, if I'm messing with your example. But nevertheless, I'm going to create an invoice correction for his, and this time instead of reduce the price, I'm going to hike the price. I said, hey customer, sorry, we made an order correction. Actually the bike cost 1,500 euros instead of 1,400, and for that I have a net value of minus 100 euros. And let's edit this. Probably the order reason price was too high. No, goodwill invoice correction. Yes, let's see what we can have with that. Okay, based on that I can display this and create a billing document. So we have incorrect processing status. Go on to log. The document is logged for billing. Okay, let me go to the order. This time I'm going to delete the check credit memo and going to create billing. This time we are going to create a credit memo Z2 with a net value of minus 100 euros. If I click on save, we will have a billing document created, which could be a credit memo but with a net value of minus 100 euros. which is really strange. Yes, I need a debit memo for this with a positive value. I don't need an credit memo. It doesn't make sense in this case. Yeah. Um, how can I then create the credit memo? Then I don't think that this RK is the one I should pick to create this, to be honest. Yeah, I'm a little bit confused because yeah, okay, if I say target quantity is the same, but if I hide it up to this one and in the order reason price was too high, and always I create a credit memo. Okay, poor quantity, so it is because of the sales order. Probably if we are going to look in the document type maintenance and go to RK, we have an invoice correction request, and every time we create this, it will be in credit memo. So let's see if we can have anything that I having. How can I check that I have a debit memo request? Yes. What could be a debit memo request then? And the billing type. Good question though. Debit memo request, it should be L2. Okay, then I'm wondering how I can check all the billing type. That okay. I want to check every sales order type which will be billed by a debit memo. We have here a view structure. Good question though. How can I go to the I want to see a table of billing document or sales order type, and we check the order related billing type from that. Let's ask my friend then, what is the table in SN16 and for sales order type in SAP? Okay, TVRK. TVRK is the name of the table. Sales document type. Yeah, this is what exactly we need. And if I click on execute, so we have in this generic system in total 413 different sales order type, and I want to check the order related billing. Order related billing type is a debit memo. For that I have in total 18 different sales billing type. Do we have any description? We have invoice increase request, debit memo request, debit memo request value. Yes, I will create an invoice increase request, the third line, which is CBII. Okay, what an interesting name. VI01 VBII. I will create with the billing document, and this time we have billing plug, which is a check debit memo. I will first go to this. Okay, first order enter reason. Okay, I would call it invoice correction, and go to the first item, go to the position. I will increase the price to 1,500 euros. Then I will go back. We can see the net value is now 100 euros. And I also remove the billing block that I can create in billing for now. You can see that now I have a debit memo with a net value of 100 euros, which means that I send this debit memo request or this debit memo to our customer and say, hey, we need 100 euro more because we have undercharged you from the last invoices. And click on save. So this is a document that we have been created. Debit memo with net value 100 euro. Billing tab L2. And this is the document flow from invoice to invoice increase request and to debit memo. So very interesting. Maybe the last part of the exercise is that they need us to check the copying control of the invoice correction request that allows both debit and credit memo item to appear in the document. Yeah, I think this is like an old setting back on 2017. Not sure if it's still relevant or not, but maybe to showing you around, I will also probably go to VOFM and copying routine, and we check the data transfer from billing documents. This is correct what I'm doing right now. I'm going to check the copying control from a billing document to an invoice correction request. For that, I will probably go first to SPRO, to sales and distribution, probably billing, basic functions, copy control. Do we have any copying control here for billing documents? Yes, we do have some. For sales document to billing document. Okay, we need the other way around. We need from billing document to sales document because we create an invoice correction from an invoice. So I will probably go to sales document, copying control, billing document to sales document, and from this I will have an target source document type, which is RK, billing type is F2. Yes, invoice correction request, and source is F2. I will double click on this, see what we have. We will copy the item number, complete reference, and we have a couple more things. Billing header is a copy requirement 21. Data transfer, billing document header, billing, go to items. I will go to 10 and standard item, and we can see that the first item category proposal is a credit memo request, and the second item category proposal is in debit memo request. So yes, we do have two different item proposal in an invoice correction request. Pricing type is E, which is copy the price element and fixed values. And for the second one, they have M, copy price element, turn value. Okay, this is really interesting. What about the CBII invoice increase request. What do we have here? Okay, for this particular billing type, we don't have. Okay, let me go to item 10. Yes, we also have first one is credit memo request and the second one is debit memo request. From the first one, we could have F, which means copy the price element, turn value in fix. And the second one, which is D, which means copy price element unchanged. Okay. So different settings from the two item positioned. So the first one is always the credit memo request item positioned, and the second one is debit memo. Yes, and going back just to double check, maybe let's compare side by side. I will open the same transaction in parallel for you to have it. VTAF is the transaction. VTAF. From the one side, I will have RK from F2, and I go to items and go to 10. And from the second one, I will have CBII item also 10. You can see the first item is always credit, second item is debit, but the pricing is different from the two. From the pricing from an invoice correction request, we have a fixed value from the credit memo request, and from the second item we could have M, which means we have copied the price element, but we can change the value. With regarding to increase invoice request, we could have for the first item, we could have instead of E, we have F. We would copy the price element, but we turn the value in fix, which means that we can change the first item. And for the second item, we will just copy the price element and change. Okay. Different things based on different sales order type, and an invoice correction request, we probably just create a credit memo based on that, because we can change the second position, turn value, and fix first item positioned, which is for credit. So maybe let me go real quick and create the CBII again with the same reference. I hope they don't mind. And yes, so this is CBII, right? This is CBII. Yes, this is CBII. I have the first item Z to end and the second item L to end, and I was able to change the second one. Let's make it invoice correction, and yes, I can edit the second one. Always the second one I can edit, which is an L2N item position. But I think I can increase the price, and I have an invoice increase request of 100 euros, what happens if I create an invoice correction request. I could still have two different line items. The first one is G2 end, and the second one is L2N. And regardless of what this first item is, the pricing is, we can only change the second line item for whatever reason, but it is like that, which means that we need to check the item categories. If I go to D2 end, this is a request. The business items billing is relevant, which means relevant for order related billing. The pricing is pricing standard. We have business item. What do we have in parallel for LN2? It also requests. What is the difference between these two? For the ZN2, we have credit active, which is relevant for credit. Okay, so for this we have credit check. Determine cost, and for this we will have is a return items, but as you can see here, I still don't see anything related to which tell me that, hey, the GN2 we can't touch it, but the LN2 we can manipulate the price. So yes. Yes, from the copying control we have found everything that we need. That for both of this sales order type, or this invoice correction or debit invoice inquiry request, we will have a 2-item category proposal and very special sales order type. Yes, just being curious. I'm not sure what did we do to have this activated. This is sales document type K, which is in credit memo request. Okay, what about CBII then? We could have L, which is in debit memo request. Okay, that could explains everything then. Yes. Even though I don't know, we have a billing block Y9, and we could have for RK sequence group credit debit memo. We could have a credit memo and billing block activated, but yes, so I think based on the SD document category, we will probably have two line items once and sales order type is created properly. But the reason why only the line L2N is editable, I'm not sure. Okay, so GN2 represents the original invoice, incorrect invoice value and stay as a fixed reference, while LN2 is a corrected value that you adjust, and SAP then builds the difference between them. Okay, why you can only change the LN2 item in standard behavior, the credit item GN2 is not meant to be edited, it mirrors the original build line. The debit item is the one where we enter the corrections such as changing the quantity, changing the price, conditions. This is why SAP let you change the quantity condition on L2N and not G2N. Which configuration is controlling this? So the main setting should be in the sales document type RK or ZRK. The indicator is D. The key field is indicator D. Interesting. Indicator D. Okay, I found this. Which means that invoice correction request, and for CBII I could have also an invoice correction request. So with this sales document indicator, I will always have two different line items, the one credit from the original invoice and the debit where I can edit it myself. Yeah, this is what makes SAP treat the document as an invoice correction request and create a special debit credit pay logic. Interesting, really interesting. Item category determination, this is what we have already seen, and defined it, and also the copying control. Okay, still doesn't tell me exactly why the Z2N is not editable and the L2N is editable. But yes, still we know how it comes from the sales document indicator, and we know exactly that the GN2, it represents the original invoice, and the LN2 is representing the difference that we are going to make in the invoice correction. This should be, I think, at first enough for us to understand the basic in the complaint processing. So I think that could be it for today. I hope that you might find something helpful in this exercise, where I have gone a lot of extra miles for you. But yes, if you have any questions, let me know in the comment down below. I will find some time to help you with that. And yes, thanks for watching and see you in the next one. Bye.